Hello students! Today our learning objectives will be the anatomy and physiology of cell membrane. So what is a cell membrane? Cell membrane is one of the most important structure of the cell that controls the metabolic activities of a cell. As we all know that all living organisms are made up of cells and every cell is surrounded by a cell membrane. So suppose this is a simple cell and the yellow line is representing a cell membrane. Cell membrane always surrounds the cell and acts as a barrier, allowing very few molecules across it while fencing majority of chemicals inside the cell. This makes it semi-permeable membrane. In this way, cell membrane maintains the internal composition of the cell. So now let's see the anatomy of cell membrane. The basic unit of cell membrane is phospholipids or phosphoglycolipids. Some substances are also present in cell membrane, but the main building blocks of cell membrane are phospholipid molecules. Now, a phospholipid molecule has three components, so remember the three major components. First major component is the phosphate head, which is made up of phosphate group. Second, we have the backbone that is made up of glycerol. The red line here shows the glycerol backbone. Then we have two loose tails that are made up of fatty acid. So phospholipid molecules has three components: phosphate head, glycerol backbone, and two fatty acid tails. Now I am turning to the next page to show you that how phospholipid molecules are arranged in a cell membrane. Cell membrane is made up of phosphobilipid layer, whereas bi means two. So now I'll show you bilipid layer. This is how the phospholipid molecules are arranged in a cell membrane. As this has three components, head is composed of phosphate group. Phosphate heads are always hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means water lovers. They love water, whereas tails are hydrophobic. Hydro means water and phobic means extreme fear. In simple words, they don't like water or they fear from water. Inside the cell membrane, the cytoplasm has 70% water. So you can see in the diagram that all the phosphate heads are towards the cytoplasm. Outside the cell membrane, the tissue fluid also contains 70% water, and that's why you can see the phosphate head in the outer region of the cell membrane, because they are attracted towards water molecules. As tails are hydrophobic, they are afraid of water molecules, so they move inside to stay away from water. Now I'll show you another diagram of cell membrane. In this, you can see a green structure that is called either the channel protein or protein gates. So we have discussed that the function of the cell membrane is to transport the materials, but it is very selective in doing that. Small molecules like oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, water molecules, glucose molecules, they will pass through the simple diffusion or simple osmosis or from these gaps easily. They will not require energy, and this is called passive transportation. And the transportation that requires energy are the bigger molecules like the sucrose molecules or steroid molecules. They cannot pass through small gaps. They have to use the protein channel or the protein gates, and these gates, when they are used, require energy. So this transportation of bigger molecules will be called active transportation. In this diagram, you can see some additional structures that are present on the upper side of the cell membrane. These are made up of carbohydrates, and sometimes they are also made up of proteins, and they have different functions. This complex structure of cell membrane is named as fluid mosaic molecules. So let's have a quick recap. So cell membrane is a semi-permeable membrane and allows very selective transportation across the cell membrane. The building blocks of cell membrane are phospholipid molecules, and they have three components: heads, backbones, and tails. Heads are hydrophilic, whereas tails are hydrophobic.